Anybody can be doing this, you guys. This does not require capital, okay? All this is just keeping your eyes open, listening. If you want it, then be in it. What up, internet? It's your boy, RynoRyder here. Welcome. We're in week 2. This is week 2, Monday, start of week 2, RynoRyder vlogs. Let me explain real quick, in case this is your first time watching. At the beginning of this year, I formed my own media and film production company, RynoRyder Media. And I wanted to, as you know, for this channel, I've been documenting stuff for 2-3 years now almost. And so I'm just kind of rebrand it and document the journey of this company from beginning till whenever it ends. Hopefully never. We're in week 2. Week 1 just aired last week. I just looked at the opening. Look, the graphics are shit. I understand. Sound is shit. The entire thing was out of focus last time. I got a better lens, better audio. Hopefully this version's a little bit better. It's still going to have the cheesy intro. But, you know, this is just about documenting this and having it down as history, you know. I do think and believe that RynoRyder Media, within 20 years, will be one of the top names in media and film production across the board. That's my goal for it. So wouldn't it be cool to have like weeks and weeks and weeks of footage and vlogs documenting how started this during this time in this space, and to see where I'm at in 20 years. So Monday morning, basically the only thing that's going on right now for the company is negotiating. Not much negotiating going on. Basically have optioned the rights to another book. This one, a fiction book, young adult novel that was published back in 2010. And so I'm going to be adapting it into a screenplay as the first part of the process. So at least for the next few weeks, you're probably going to see a lot of that, a lot of screenwriting breaking down, and you'll see how I adapt. This will be my second book that I've adapted into a screenplay, and I'm really excited about this one. And it's the lightest subject I've ever taken on, by far, and I see it. The story connects with me. I just got off the phone with the author, Tom Levine. Shout out, Tom. I'm inspired by this story, and it's very well written. And so I'm super excited to dive in, get that mental cocaine running through my head while I write, turn it into a screenplay. I'm super excited. Pumped for that. So Monday, April 6th, 2020. Away we go. So, closing out today, as you can see, I got started on my process of adapting this book into a screenplay. The way the book is written is pretty interesting. It's 11 chapters, 11 characters, and told from each person's perspective the whole time, so I'm going to try to keep that throughout. So the first thing I have to do, and it all takes place one night at this party, so I just have to get the timeline of how, because stories kind of cross and connect and stuff like that. So I put one of these up for each character, and then have these little note cards inside that just kind of lists what they where they go. Anyway, I'm really excited about it to geek out. So just start doing party. Take me a couple days to go through this process, and then the next step, just broad strokes on the canvas, and start really big and just narrow it down. So that's what happened today. Boom. Later. What up, everybody? It is Tuesday for this week. It's raining outside. I love the rain. Reminds me of home. Had some good day on the phone. Good day of phone calls. You know, it's interesting because we are in a state of, not knowing when this is all going to end or more importantly, how... Hold on a second. Somebody's thinking about me. Okay. More importantly, how are people going to act and feel and think once it's all safe and clear? Will people want to gather together? I'm thinking today, this new story that I'm doing, although small, it does take place at a house party and would just need to be a lot of extras. And I was doing, I was like, man, that's going to be a lot of people in one room together. I wonder when that's going to be allowed to happen, or even after it's allowed, people feeling safe enough to want to do that. So, an interesting thing. You like my little friend there? One other thing I wanted to talk about that's been on my mind today is if you're an independent producer or screenwriter, you can do exactly what I've done, which is there's so many stories out there and so much content that's already been written and published, and put out there, poems, novels, graphic novels, comic books, short stories, so many things out there that if you're a producer, it's all about IP right now. Not right now, I mean, always it is. And so, for example, this book that I'm now adapting into a screenplay, I've optioned the rights to do that now merely because I discovered the author, I contacted him, I reached out to him, I found him, I talked to him, I engaged with him, and his book was good, but fortunately for me, the rights had just run out. He was under like a 10-year contract with the publisher. He published in 2010, so the time was literally 2 weeks before I contacted him. The rights had just become available or reverted back to him having the ownership. So you just never know. People thinking or screenwriters sit there, and I think every screenwriter should become their own producer as well. Got a good month looking ahead, a lot of work to do from home, so I'll be able to keep busy with that. And it looks like we're buckling in for a couple weeks. Projected to be a little bit more intense, if you will. Much love to any of my friends that see this who have been affected by the disease, like actually gotten it. I know 2 now. One has fully recovered and the other one is recovering still. Anybody who's been affected or had a family member affected by this, much love to you. And that's it. Today's Tuesday, week 2 of the RynoRyder vlogs. So that's it. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Later. What up, everybody? So, recording this little segment from my new webcam that I got. So pretty cool. I ordered it a few weeks before everything kind of hit, and did it for just a hunch that I would possibly be doing more live streaming or interviewing or anything like that. Just basically just another tool I wanted to have. And turns out that this week I had a call from an independent content producer who just so happens is looking for help and for someone to help her do live streaming. So I'm going to learn about it, learn more than I already know, and see what I can figure it out. Yeah, so for any, advice for like independent filmmakers or producers, this is a prime example of why you should just not say no to things and just say yes. I talked about it in my video.
You all out there need to level up.
Up in your game, leveling up, and technically be sound. And I've been saying this before we're all forced to live inside of our own homes. You should try things out. I just don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't, and I think it's actually going to be in the future. We're going to see a lot more of this, where more people are just more people are going to just have more tools and more expertise in different areas, and are just going to be unstoppable, I think. I can't wait to see what happens in 20 years, all this creative power that we have behind us. So it is Wednesday. That's my update for today. Got some good writing work done. Gonna do a little bit more of that. See ya. Hey, what up? So I finished all of my little this is basically what this is. If you've watched any of my stuff, or if you go back and watch any of my other breakdown and writings, you'll see like a bunch of post-it notes. What I've figured out is that each line in each card is basically a post-it note. So for example, this is Morgan's chapter. It's the second one. Home, that's the location it takes. Tells mom and dad she's going to the party. So see, number 2, car, that's where it takes place. Parents call, return home. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 post-its, 9 scenes, 9 slug lines in her chapter. And tells right there. And so each one of those, I just realized there's 113 of them altogether, and so that's 113 post-its. These are probably a little bit more detailed than most of the post-its are, but cool. I kind of just did that. Again, each project I approach just, I don't know, whatever comes to me in terms of style, but it's always to strip it down and break it down to its most bare, basic bones, ones and zeros of the story, of what the story is, from A to Z. So because this book I'm adapting, because there's already material I could draw upon, it was cool and fun for me. And the book, it has 11 chapters just in this order, so I just took those as my format. And now it's now I've done the first wave of file transfer, if you will, in my process, to then begin to break it down even further. So my next step will be taking each card and each chapter. So you see I have each one broken out, and as I went through each chapter, I would highlight stuff. By the way, this is the best opening line ever, and it's going to be the opening line in the script. So I would highlight stuff that would stand out, stuff that I thought was cinematic. I tried to really highlight what the character was thinking, because we're inside each character's head. It's funny, I don't know if it was done purposely or not, or maybe I'm looking at this through too much of a psychology lens, but there were times in there where the character would contradict themselves in their own narration, and people do that a lot, and it's usually a sign of, you can link it to some sort of deeper insecurity based on their upbringing or what have you. So I'm trying to go really, really deep on these characters in the philosophical sense, and definitely not the archetype sense, even though each one of these characters does kind of fall into place. Ryan's the player, Anthony's the jock, Aziz the foreign kid, the skater kids, each one definitely has its own archetype. But I think going at it from truly the inside and out, and the exterior, the being the actually last thing to explore. I actually have a crazy idea about how to do that. I won't. It's not important right now, but a unique idea that has to deal with how people's memories are so, people put such strength on another person's memories of a situation, yet memory has been proven to be one of the most, realistic things that we can base, things off of. I mean, just colors are forgotten, people's eye color, hair color, whether it was up or down, little minor details are just so lost and forgotten. So I'm going to try to incorporate that into here as well. There's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here for me to sink my teeth into, and I'm very excited to do it. So I was just kind of sitting here. I just made that connection that these are basically my post-it notes. Each line is basically a post-it note, and I thought if anybody watches all of this, they can be like, oh, so that's what he's doing in this. He's just, because from the outside it looks kind of crazy, right? Just hanging this stuff in your bathroom with envelopes and stuff. And I didn't know that this is what I was doing. I didn't know I was getting to my post-it note phase or going through my post-it note phase. I just kind of did it, just followed my instinct and my gut. And am willing and okay with reading. I've already read the book twice now, gone through every single line. I'm about to read it again. So I'm okay with spending loads of time, even if we weren't quarantined and put up like that. I put definitely this much of time and effort into it. This is why this is why the first draft people say is shit. I say, fuck you, man. Like, I put a shit ton of work into my first draft. My first draft is like good, beyond good, I think, usually. When I have this much to go from too as well, the first draft of this is going to be fucking, killer. Anyway, that's it. Later. Hey, what up, everybody? It is Thursday. I just wanted to try and show you a little bit of my process of what I'm doing now. So here are the here we go. Here are the index cards that I have. So it's chapter 1, Beckett. I've already done this one and this one. I'll show you how that turns out. So as you can see, you've probably seen this type of thing before. What I do is I write it all on the whiteboard like that, take a picture of my phone, and print it out like this. So this right here, mission, talks to mom. 1, Beckett, 1. We have 1 there. 1 there. Interior, mission, church. I might change it to a church just to make it easier. Mission, talks to mom. Boom. So I am on this scene, right? That's what this piece of paper is for. 1. Now, what does this paper have in it? Well, this is where we break down the entire scene, one by one. So A had too many numbers going on, so I switched to letters. Establishing shot of Beckett on her eyes. Deliver opening line VO. I know what that. And now I take my chapter for Beckett, and here's the opening line. Boom, 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 boom. I'm the girl nobody knows until she commits suicide. Then everyone had a class or whatever. B, Beckett's VO describes what she looks like to the world. See in the opening, she's just kind of talking about herself. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. And down and down and down it goes. And then we move on to the next scene. Beckett's bus stop. Morgan. Oh, bus transfer. 1. Okay, 2. Then break down this scene. Okay, I'm putting character names in red to highlight. That's it, people. That is what I am doing now, and yeah, just thought I'd give you a little insight. Happy Thursday. Good Friday. It is Friday, April 10th, 2020, and this is the end of week 2 for the RynoRyder vlogs. To sum up the week, one of the things that I've been thinking about that I want this vlog to do and to provide is not only insight into different things, but practical like tips or advice or practical things that if you are an independent screenwriter, an independent film producer, independent director, independent filmmaker, that is who I am talking to when I look into that lens. That's who I'm trying to reach. The kid in high school that has dreams of making movies, the 25-year-old kid that moved here to LA, that's living with 4 dudes and they're all trying to be creative and make it. Some stuff that you can practically just do, because that's and I'll sum up this week by giving an example of exactly that. A lot of you talk the talk out there, so and I'm not seeing many walking the walk, and so this is for those people that I'll show you that things are out there, opportunities are out there. It's a wide fucking open field, man, and you can just go and grab. So basically, the story goes that, and you've seen some of it in this vlog already, me working on this book adaptation. This all came from a week and a half ago. I was watching an episode of TeaWithGaryVee. Shout out. If you haven't been watching it, Gary Vee's been doing this new show ever since the whole quarantine thing, and it is gold nuggets in terms of advice. If you need motivation, uplifting the spirit, it's all in there. Some really heavy emotional stuff, great tactics, but I mean, probably his best material that he has been putting out to date. So shout out, Gary, you're crushing it. Anyway, I was watching the episode of that, and he happened to have on this guy.
And Tom is in the building with a beanie, nonetheless. I love it. How are you? How you doing, Tom?
He kept saying his email over and over again.
Tom, LEVEEN.com. Tom at TomLEVEEN.com. Literally 15 people from my community right now are going to email you at TomLEVEEN.com.
And Tom was a writer and had written in comic books, and my headspace has been in that because I'm pushing my graphic novel hard, which, by the way, if you haven't already, please pick up whatever I'm going to put here. Please go to Amazon, purchase this graphic novel. It is 111 pages of pure feast for the eyes and the soul. So I'll put the link down below in the description. If you want to check that out, that'd be amazing. So I sent this guy an email, and we had a set up a phone call, I think the next day. We talked, got a great vibe. He's a really solid dude. And basically I said, send me whatever story that you have that you most think would make a movie, or you'd like to see as a movie. He did. He sent me a novel, his first novel, called Party. And within 24 hours later, I had read it and responded back to him and said, I love it. I want to talk about it. I set up a phone call, and I opened it up just to get a taste, see what it's about. And that opening line, man, just for me personally, really hit. But it is a great opening. I haven't read an opening line like that since A Prayer for Owen Meany. And I go, okay. And I stopped right there on Friday night, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this tomorrow. Great, I'm gonna start reading it tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's 200 something pages. And so I started it in the morning, and good God, man, you are a really great writer. I'm not trying to really butter you up, and maybe it's just because I've recently been reading his works and stuff, but it does remind me a lot of Stephen King, the way the kind of connections and the in-depthness in the characters, and just really solid in the characters and stuff like that. And this was all at the beginning of the week. Long story short, by the end of this week, on Friday, paperwork is done, and book is optioned, and I'm adapting the screenplay and set to produce this film. I'm going to try to make this film in the next 12 months. And beyond that, I watched an independent film, watched this film and was actually impressed despite the low scores and the perceived unprofessionality of the film just based on its subject matter alone. I saw was a filmmaker who was actually, it was quite refreshing to see, and it wasn't a lot of higher budgeted and bigger named films that I have seen that I was not impressed by. I thought this story would somehow would connect, would kind of resonate with him, and so I reached out to him and told him that, and gave him the praise, and told him why I'm reaching out, and basically told him that I'm got the rights to this book. I'm adapting to a screenplay, and I think I saw your film, and I thought between the two, where I know where I'm going with the script and what I saw you do with that movie, I want to bring those two together, and I think we can make something kick ass. He's pumped. I'm pumped. We're going to talk about it next week. Anybody can be doing this, you guys. This does not require capital, okay? All this is just keeping your eyes open, listening. If you want it, then be in it. I just don't get it. I'm in on a lot of Facebook forums, and I'm heavy on Reddit, and I'm engaged, and even when I'm not engaged, I'm reading everyone's comments, and just seeing a lot of confusion, and a lot of breaking, and I come from the camp of accelerating when you're on the turn instead of braking, for failure of crash. Now, I have bipolar disorder. Not everybody else does. A lot of people, even some bipolar people, say or question, is that manic, or am I being manic right now? That's the line that I am crossing, straddling daily, every single day, every single second. I enjoy it now because I know what it is, and have something, instead of just like, man, I feel crazy. But it's a line I watch every day, and I pay attention to every day. Just like I pay attention to my industry, I pay attention to myself and my life and what I'm doing and how I'm reacting and how I'm acting and all of those things. So I take everything that I do very seriously, and I hope you know that, regardless of what you think, about my opinions about things one way or the other. I hope you can see that it comes from an honest place, and a place with no ill intent or without insulting anyone. So that's it.